In case you didn't know, we're now at the start of a new rugby season, or rather 2 rugby seasons, because for over a century the sport has been sharply divided between the league and the union, though divided is perhaps a rather neutral term to describe the bitter antagonism between the two. Put simply, the union declares that amateurism is a sacred principle, to which the league retorts that the union men are snobs and hypocrites. In our second film, Kicked into Touch, we discover that the row is not merely an academic one. It has victims.
It's a great rugby club, like, all the boys are down there. Well, I can't say anymore, like, no, they're really, really good. You know, it's a real good experience to score for Cardiff on the Arms Park. Great. All the crowd, like, no, we're up on their feet, like, no, I got up, smiling, like.
The final try in the final match of a long, hard season. This man would have loved to have scored that try, might have done if things had been different, but Steve Ford, at 20, is finished as a Cardiff player. He can only see out the season as a spectator. Steve Ford, in fact, is finished with the game he loves. There's nothing wrong with his form or fitness, but he has committed rugby union's unforgivable sin. He has played rugby league trials, and rugby union has banned him for life. There was no warning, no trial. Judgment was final.
Somebody phoned me up, like, no, from Leeds, like, asking me for the trial. So I thought, oh, great, like, I've finally been recognised. So I said, yeah, great, yeah, no problem. So I went up, I played 4 games. I played for Leeds. I scored a couple of tries, and they made me an offer. The offer was around £20,000. Why did I turn it down? Because I thought I could further my career with Cardiff. So I turned the deal down, and I went training on the Monday night.
With Cardiff?
Yeah, with Cardiff, yeah. And somebody pulled me over saying, look, you can't play. Yeah, so I read the letter, like, no, they give to me.
What did it say?
They're saying, say that I had a rugby league trial with Leeds, and no, I'm banned from rugby union.
For how long?
For life.
The Industrial North is the stronghold of rugby league. Since the game split 100 years ago, it has remained firmly working class. Traditionally, players are recruited from the pit and the factory floor. Only a few stars can live exclusively from their rugby league earnings. Rugby league prides itself on its following: trouble-free and unpretentious. In the midst of recession, the sport is modestly healthy. Another venue and another version of rugby. Twickenham, known within the game as HQ. Home of the English Rugby Football Union, Twickers is the heart of the amateur establishment. Today, spectators are drawn to the end-of-season Middlesex Sevens tournament. It's a traditional place to enjoy the best of what rugby union has to offer. A social must for connoisseurs of rugby.
The notion that everyone in rugby union has a Rolls Royce, a handlebar moustache, double-breasted blazer and a cravat, I think is as wrong as that everyone in rugby league has a flat cap, national health glasses, bicycle clips and a whippet. I think that they're not too far apart as ordinary people on ordinary club level, probably at the extremes. There is a great difference. In rugby union, the thing is administered by people with university backgrounds and high-ranking military officers. At the moment, for example, the president is a brigadier, the secretary is an air commodore, the administrative secretary is a lieutenant colonel. It is true the whole thing, the whole shooter match is run by people of that standing or stature, whereas rugby league seems to be run, or traditionally has been run, by more ordinary people.
A rugby union fan with a rugby league constituency is MP Merlin Rees.
There is an enormous amount of snobbishness in our society. Maybe it's changing, and maybe it's not as virulent as it was 30 or 40 years ago. But If you want to see it at its worst, see it in the attitude of some people in rugby union towards rugby league.
Rugby League headquarters in Leeds. David Oxley, Secretary General of the professional game, explains the origins of this bitter rugby divide.
One of the biggest sporting rows of all time, which simmered through the 1890s, came to a head in August 1895 when 21 northern clubs broke away from the Rugby Football Union, really over the issue of broken time. The northern clubs were very strong, but based very firmly on working class lads who couldn't afford time off work to travel down to Rosslyn Park to play their games, unlike the public school, Oxbridge-educated rugby union chaps in the south. And they simply wanted to pay them 6 shillings for broken time, which was the what you got for a 12-hour shift underground in the mines at the time. The true blues in the south wouldn't have this, and the split occurred.
10 miles from Rugby League headquarters and a northern rugby union stronghold.
They've asked for it, they wanted a team.
In the Otley Club bar hangs a painting that epitomises the rift. A Yorkshire-Lancashire match just before the split. Those traitors who left Union for the new league have been painted out, erased for taking just 6 shillings a week. Today it's Rugby Union that is the game with the money, with its PR lunches and executive tents. Amateurism is still the most sacred principle of Union, but not all play just for the love of the game. Many leading players are known to have taken money. One who admitted receiving payment from a leading boot manufacturer is Mike Burton.
I wore the Adidas equipment and it paid me 50 quid a game. Well, now when it really annoys me now when I look back on it because it never paid me enough. You think about that, 50 quid a game, there's 10 million people watching. I'm in the front row, every time the ball's put in the scrum they see my feet. For 50 quid, God, I should send them a bill. Rugby authorities became aware that most of the leading players were taking this money, and they must know, goodness, that the top players are speaking at dinners, are opening garages, going to shops. What are we talking about?
Former Welsh international players have admitted taking £75 a game in the 1970s, and they identified Gareth Edwards as the shop steward, the link between the Adidas representative and the Welsh team. No action was ever taken. Nobody was banned. The Welsh Rugby Union said they had no proof. There have been more recent irregular payments.
The worst examples of amateurism in recent times have purely been the Wallabies, who in 1984, great side, very attractive side, a lot of them played rugby league as youngsters, but a great side, unbeaten in 1984 on their tour, and they were paid £40 a day. They've admitted this when the International Board regulations stipulated a maximum of £14 a day.
The East India Club in St James's Square, London. An establishment setting for the annual meeting of the international governing body of rugby union. The board usually meets behind closed doors, but today is open to questions from the press.
As everybody is aware, there has been a lot of allegations that the Wallabies of 1984 received more than the agreed allowance. Was that matter discussed by the board?
Yes, it was.
Did you come to any conclusion?
We did. We came to various conclusions on it, on the particular, but not on that specific point. Not on that specific point, because there is a genuine difference of opinion in the interpretations of regulations 310 and 311. Very, very definite. It can be one way or the other.
No action was taken against the Australians, but action was taken against Bill Beaumont, one of the best-loved of British sportsmen, a Grand Slam winning captain, but now a pariah to the game. He lost his amateur status in 1982. His crime was to keep the money from his autobiography.
Yeah. We're off with it then.
But Daddy don't catch you.
Technically, he's banned from teaching rugby union, even to his 3-year-old son.
If I was actually to go out and coach, let's say, his school team or something like that, or then in the letter of the law, I suppose, then I shouldn't be doing that. I can't coach, I can't have any I can't select a side, I can have no administrative role whatsoever in the game. I still love the game, because the game has given me so much, and I feel very frustrated that I can't put anything back into the game.
Beaumont is England's most famous rugby playing son. He's a lovely bloke. He doesn't smoke, he's not a drunk, he's not into drugs. They're just thrown out the window. It's shameful. In theory, you should be able to play rugby league for money and then come back and play union, providing you're prepared to play for nothing. If you look at Dusty Hare, Alistair Hignell, Peter Squires, all England rugby union players that have played professional cricket, and yet they're accepted as being okay in union.
Paul Thorburn, a great goal kicker for Wales, could go out this summer, could kick goals successfully in the gridiron game for Chicago Bears, and then come back and take up his rugby union career with Wales without let or hindrance. But Steve Ford, a young amateur by any term, by any sense of the definition, is banned for life.
Steve Ford was never paid for his rugby league trials. Indeed, he turned down Leeds' offer of £20,000 to play the professional game. He preferred to pursue his dream of playing for Wales at rugby union, even though it meant returning to the unemployment queues of South Wales.
I love rugby union, like that's what I've played all my life. Yeah, it's a game for me, rugby union. It's gone down the drain now, like my first Welsh Cup have gone down the drain now. My first Welsh Cup is the ultimate. You know, it's really something. Yeah, see, because, you know, like, I say, as soon as you got that cap on your head, you know, you think, well, you are a good player. That's all I like to ask him, why me? Why single out me?
The man responsible for banning Steve Ford for life is the Secretary of the Welsh Rugby Union, Ray Williams.
I don't deny that there are maybe many other people who've done precisely what Stephen Ford did, but they didn't get found out. And there was obviously what you know nothing about, you can take no action about.
And the banning, it struck me, couldn't possibly have been for receiving money, because I know the facts. It was for associating himself with rugby league, and that's not good enough. What he did was sullied his hands by associating with this vulgar game.
What Steve Ford did is against the regulations which are very clearly defined by the International Rugby Football Board, of which the Welsh Rugby Union is a member, and it is party to its to all its decisions in relation to amateurism.
Have you also discussed the case of the rugby league, in particular Steve Ford of Cardiff, who went to for a trial and then decided that he would not play rugby league, returned to the union game in Cardiff, but was banned and has been banned, although he did not receive any money whatsoever?
This particular matter isn't before the board because it hasn't been referred to it. I certainly know nothing about it at all. I didn't even know what you were talking about when you asked the question, because I've not heard of it.
In reference to that particular case, which it would affect the board, the Rugby League Council are threatening to take legal action against this board over this case, considering it an injustice that a player who has received no money whatsoever has been banned from ever playing rugby union again. Yes. What would your reaction be if they did take a case?
Well, I don't think you'd take the case against the board, because the board haven't made any decision on it. But I think it's a matter between them and the Welsh Rugby Union, from what I can gather from what you're telling me.
Human rights, natural justice, I think that that's a growing aspect of the law in the last 20 years. And the rugby league people told me they were taking legal advice on going to court on this. I hope they do.
And we believe we've got a very strong case that the offending regulation in the International Board is discriminatory against public policy and not operable in law.
Every organisation, certainly every sports organisation, is perfectly entitled to make whatever rules and regulations it wishes, provided it doesn't act against natural justice. And I don't think that, there is the regulation and it doesn't act against natural justice.
It's just the culmination of many things that have happened over the years, and it's totally hypocritical. Young Steve Ford, in our view, by any acceptable and reasonable definition of the term, is and remains and always has been an amateur sportsman.
Well, if you want to play rugby union football, you have to agree to abide by the regulations, whatever they may be. If you don't want to abide by those regulations, you're going to do something else.
Dead, you make a break today, what you did against St Helens. Couldn't catch you, 3 of them, left them for dead. Same again today. Make a break. Let's go. Get that head back and go, son. Come on. Whip trot. Get him in the scrum. Let's sap him. No mercy.
The last game of the Rugby League season. With Rugby Union's doors closed forever and the £20,000 from Leeds no longer on offer, Steve Ford is now a Salford Rugby League trialist.
I want to win. Do we want to win? Yeah. Let's get it sorted.
So I feel as though I've been forced into signing now. Right now, I've got to sign now, see, to make a living.
Forward. Very important. Come on.
You know, when you're fighting for a principle, there are individuals who are going to be sacrificed along the way, maybe. But if the principle is right, then you have to stand by it.
Amateur status is something tangible, which means something to a man, and the loss of it can be a very serious thing indeed. And that in the case of Steve Ford, it's particularly serious in that a young man is deprived from enjoying the sport he clearly prefers and wishes to pursue.
Steve Ford is in a long tradition of Welsh Rugby Union talent who have left the game they love. Most leave for money. It's a matter of choice. Success is not guaranteed. Some of the most famous names fail. It's never easy, and there is no way back.
He can't be reinstated. There is no provision within the regulations as they are currently written for reinstatement of that kind.
Why me? That's all I like to ask him. Why me? Why single out me?
Well, in October, the International Rugby Board's convening a special session to discuss the question of amateurism, which won't help Steve Ford very much, but may clear up some of the confusion and contradictions which now seem to dog the game. That's all from First Tuesday for this month, and the point at which I normally say, see you next month. In fact, though, this is my last programme, as from next week, on every Thursday night, I'll be presenting a new current affairs programme on ITV called This Week. However, First Tuesday will of course be back, as usual, on the first Tuesday of October. My successor in this chair will be Olivia O'Leary. You'll be in good hands. So join her in a month's time. From me, good night.